Those
Go New York,
damn
go New
Knicks.
York, go New York, go New York, go.
I'm happy. I mean, I did not think that buzzer beater to win it by Julius Randle against the Miami Heat, the win that took us to the 8-game win streak, was going to be topped. And then last night on national freaking television, with Jalen Brunson out first with a sore foot, arguably the Knicks' best player this year, him or Randall, right? And Randall's been more streaky. Brunson's been the most consistent. Like I saw that DraftKings was doing a special to bet. It was like plus 450, and it was something like Julius Randall to get 28 points and for the Knicks to win. And I was like, okay, they know something. A few hours later, Brunson's out, and I'm like, all right, the Knicks. It's been fun. Their win streak's going to come to an end. The Celtics are a great team, and it's just not going to happen tonight. Double overtime. Emmanuel quickly starting at the point in uh, replacing Jalen Brunson. 55 minutes, 38 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, double overtime. Emmanuel quickly skipping around the floor, having a grand old time like his hair's on fire. And his stat line's going to get the headlines, but he also played incredible defense the whole game. He's such a high energy player. And to see yet another Knicks draft pick fits so well into this system. Even though Grimes has been getting less minutes, Grimes has been a really good value pick for a late first round pick. Same with Emmanuel quickly. There's something cooking here with the Knicks, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but this 9-game win streak is not a fluke.
And what's funny too about this period for the Knicks in this season is that I feel like me and you both at some point earlier were like, they're sort of in this limbo. They're sort of in this purgatory. Like they're playing well, but then there are times where they'll blow a huge lead or like go on a little bit of a slide to kind of just be in sort of the Eastern Conference's middle class.
Right.
Is there a case to be made to almost for them to not be performing like this, to trigger a reset because Tom Thibodeau may have reached his threshold as the head coach of a formerly middling team, and now that they might need somebody else, not as a bridge coach, but to actually realize their potential. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. I'm willing to eat crow on this. Obviously, this is still the regular season, still 20 games to go, but at some point when you see a team like this win this many games in a row, and also in different ways too. I mean they blew out the
Yes.
Nets. They beat the Heat. They beat the Heat on that really tough shot that Julius Randle made, as you said. Gutting out a double overtime win, one of 3 wins I believe that they have against the Celtics. I mean, having 2 or 3 statement wins against the cream of the crop in their
Three
conference
out of four
is,
in their matchups
right.
this
It's
year.
like, so to have a positive record against a division rival, the cream of the crop of the Eastern Conference, that to me is less
And it's the Celtics, so
and
it's
it's the
extra
Celtics again,
special.
and that to me
Fuck
makes it
Boston.
less.
Joking.
No, it's okay. That to me makes it less fluky. Like, it makes it seem to me like there is something real here in terms of the formula they're finding, but also the individual players like playing up to what their potential is. Like I and I'm saying this as someone who was skeptical because I'm just like trained to be skeptical when
Same.
I as a Knicks fan. Like
I was saying I was pissed about like I just wanted them to start playing their young guys and just let's just try to get
right, find
I
something.
don't want the play in. I'm sick of this play in crap. I
Exactly.
mean, let's make a decision on the future of the team. And I thought Thibodeau was it was the same old story where he's playing his same veterans. They're going to get so tired in the regular season. He doesn't do the load management thing that Charles Barkley is so upset about. They were going to falter in the playoffs, but they're a tough matchup for Boston.
Yeah.
Like Randall is giving them fits. It's his physicality or something. I'm not sure how to characterize it, but they haven't. I mean, he had over 30 points.
But there's that's part of it though for me, and when I'm talking about the individual performances, is that after the year that they made the playoffs, and lost to the Hawks in the first round, I wasn't sure if either A, Julius Randle was going to be able to fit long term with the team, and B, whether he could feasibly be a number 1 option for a team in the sense of
Hmm.
like it was a combination of the shot selection, but also the efficiency with those shots were coming. I felt like he was getting a little bit frustrated pretty quickly with some of the offense and the scheming. Like I think he definitely is a bit of a moody person on the floor,
Yeah.
but I think that's just because he's very competitive and expects a lot, like as a high standard for the
Yes.
teams that he plays on, which I don't necessarily think is a bad trait, but sometimes you can see it palpably. But that none of that has come through this season, where especially after a down year for the Knicks, I wasn't necessarily expecting Randall to be able to come back and play at this level again. Arguably, I would say he's playing better than he did
Yes.
in the 2021 season. And also, we obviously had a little bit, I think, a bit of, as Knicks fans, and I think also people around the league, there were two things. There was the potential sticker shock, seeing the Jalen Brunson contract, wondering if, Brunson at his size, and also clearly being a secondary component to Luka Doncic on the Mavs, could he be a number one option? Like, could he be the focal point, the fulcrum of a Knicks offense? Leading the dance and kind of filling the void that the Knicks have had at point guard for basically the entirety of their existence as an NBA franchise, outside of like Isaiah Thomas, and
certainly, in our sentient, like,
right in our lifetimes, yeah. And then also thinking about the other void of potentially like, did we miss on taking a swing on Donovan Mitchell? Like, of course, these things were sort of hanging over even coming into the season. Will we be able to optimize this team under Jalen Brunson? And will we rue that we did not go for Donovan Mitchell instead? And while Mitchell has been really great on the Cavs, I think we can't undersell how crucial and invaluable Brunson's play has been as a result. He's not only the connective tissue for the playmaking on the team, but he plays so much more physically, and he punches above his weight class so consistently for a guy who's not that big, and his handle is so stifling because he has such a extensive array of moves that he can employ when he's off the dribble. It's really impressive to see these two guys really exceed my expectations, and I obviously don't like to attribute it only to two or three guys, but they are the reason the Knicks are playing this well.
And Josh Hart was the final like kind of piece of. I mean, they're undefeated since he came to the team, and he brings a defensive tenacity and a discipline,
energy.
I mean, he's the man. I love Josh Hart already. I mean, he's like one of my favorite Knicks already.
And for simply a swap between him and Cam Reddish, who was not getting minutes, was not playing super
a Thibodeau guy,
and it seemed pretty visibly unhappy and wanting a reset, to get Josh Hart for him, that's a trade you do over and over again, and also it's paying dividends basically immediately.
And I was like, oh damn, they're gonna trade their first round pick for this, okay? But they still have the Mavericks first round pick, and the Mavericks, they did have that big win against the 76ers the other night, right? Like they beat that team. Was over the weekend. But they were still kind of middling. They're a bit boom or bust, and they just have offensive firepower. They still are defensively a team that I don't have a ton of faith in with Kyrie and Luka. So, and did they win last night too?
No, the Suns won at the
That's
buzzer.
why Luka was
because Luka in the last few seconds missed the game tying
and then
layup.
Devin Booker got
they got into each other's faces, double technicals, then KD hit the last shot to win the game.
Right, okay. Again, everything's blending together, but yeah. So speaking of Donovan Mitchell, I did see that he tweeted at Emmanuel Quickly last night saying, "Man, at IG Godson is hooping." Whatever. He's got 2 more years on that contract. Player option at the end. Just saying.
Where's the lie?
I mean, Luka Doncic doesn't seem too happy in Dallas either.
So, we'll Mark Cuban, call us.